Hello guys, Chris here and welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing the GeForce GTX 1660 Ti in Forza Horizon 4. I'm running it with a Ryzen 9 5900X and 32GB of RAM. Of course, these are kind of overkill for the 1660 Ti. You should be capable of getting the same FPS if you run something like a Ryzen 3 3300X or Ryzen 5 3600, for example, with 16GB of RAM in dual channel. That's absolutely fine to get the most out of this GPU. At least using the settings that we'll utilize in this video. So let's get right into it, shall we? And first of all, let's go through the settings real quick. I'm playing at 1080p resolution. We're also going to be testing this one at 1440p and 4K, and we're utilizing the extreme settings. So pretty much everything is maxed out except for the MSAA anti-aliasing. I'll leave it at 2x, which is the default setting for ultra settings as well. And I am expecting extremely good frames per second coming out of this card in this game. It's a really optimized game for Forza Horizon 4, as we've seen with other cards. And look at that, it is looking super beautiful, guys. Oh my god, like those reflections in the car, the shadows and stuff, everything is so detailed. And I know I didn't really test these settings with the RX 570 and GTX 1050 Ti because I didn't even know they existed, because there's no preset for extreme settings. You actually have to do it manually. So yeah, kind of weird, but it sure does make a difference, at least compared to like high or medium settings. Yeah, it's beautiful, guys. I really recommend this. And performance-wise, it's also very nice. Look at that, 100 FPS average right here. This is awesome. Let's do another race right there. This is the next event in the storyline, I guess. I am aware I am a horrible driver, by the way. You don't need to comment that, but feel free to do so. It always helps the channel with interactions and stuff. So everybody in the comments, Crisp sucks in Forza. Let's do this. Okay, start counting our frames now that we are in a race. And as you can see, it's slightly more demanding because now it's rendering all of these cars and the crowd and stuff. But it's still running really well. Like, wow. Beautiful, guys. It is 1080p resolution, however, and I expected it to run a little bit better. Probably because the only time that I tested extreme settings was with the GT 710, if I remember correctly, at 4K. So I don't really know how, for example, the RX 570 or the 1050 Ti would run this at extreme settings. I don't really have a point of comparison. Yeah, okay. That's an interesting paint job in this car. By the way, oh boy, okay, stop. I should stop doing that. I'm first place. I don't suck that much, guys. Forget about that comment. Edit those comments and say that Crisp is actually pretty good at the game, but since he's always talking about things, he distracts himself and then he kind of sucks anyway, so I don't know. Do whatever you want. See, I know that I have to slow down when the arrows are red. I just don't want to, usually. We got this 99 FPS average. Let's do this now at 1440p. The resolution is applied, and it is looking beautiful, my friends. The jaggies, I can spot some of them, you know, right there, for example. Very noticeable. But if I had disabled the FXAA, it would be much worse. And now that we are seeing some cars, FPS are dropping into the 60s, as you can see. So this is extremely intensive compared to ultra settings, I guess. Like the RX 570, if I'm not mistaken, got around 60 FPS average at 1440p, and this should be a much better card than the RX 570, of course. At least we're getting 69 FPS average right now, which is perfect. That's like the best thing in the world after 420 on average. Of course, if you run this game at ultra instead of extreme, you should gain like 10, 15 more frames per second, maybe like 10 FPS, you know. So instead of 70 on average right now, you'd be getting like 80, which is a considerable difference. But as long as it doesn't drop from 60, I'd just keep the extreme settings, to be honest. It's just, yeah, why not max the game out if it's gonna be smooth all the way through, right? You know what? I like to be first place in these races, but I am gonna let the cars be on stream, on screen more often. Speaking of streaming, no, I'm sorry, I can't stream because my internet sucks. That's also why I tend to play a lot of single-player titles these days. But hopefully I will get better internet soon. I'm working on it, okay? The contract ends in a couple of months, and maybe I'll start streaming here on YouTube, or maybe on Twitch. I'm still not sure, but we'll see. We'll see, of course. And also, guys, if you haven't already, check out the second channel. It's in the description down below. I'm doing a new series over there with Digimoon, and we play some unplayed games on my Steam library. It's quite fun. You should check it out. There's also a Discord server down below, by the way, if you're interested in that. And yeah, pretty good results, guys. Let's do 4K now. Okay, 3840 by 2160 with the extreme settings. Not sure if I should disable MSA for this one. Probably not. It's not really a very intensive setting in Forza Horizon 4. It is a very demanding setting in other games, that's for sure. Wow, it's looking so detailed right now, guys. Look, just, I'm gonna stop and take a look at the textures in the ground, for example. It's so detailed at 4K. I mean, if you have a 4K monitor or a 4K TV and you plug your PC into your TV to play this game with like a controller or a steering wheel, I think it's worth it to play this one at 4K. Even if you don't get 60 FPS all of the time, I think it's a beautiful game. You should definitely try that out and enjoy the visuals, if you're not a competitive person, of course. What the heck is this? Oh boy, okay, interesting. I am gonna wreck my car completely. Oh, it's fine. It's actually fine, but my spoiler's gone. Wow, I got three stars there. Amazing stuff. What the hell? Oh, these are chickens, and they clip through the walls. And it's event time. Start counting our frames. Drops into the 30s sometimes, but not very often, it seems like. Okay, pretty good. 40s, still. It's great. And if you're playing with a controller, it should also feel a little bit smoother as well. Ooh, I missed that tree. Great, that's exactly what I wanted. See, guys, I'm a good driver. You saw nothing. I'm sixth place. There we go. We're almost winning the... Yeah, guys, 42 FPS average here in Forza. It's not bad, in my opinion. I could still play this game properly if I want. Actually, maybe not, but you could probably play this game properly without doing insanely stupid things like me with 40 FPS. I believe in you. I believe you can do it. Can we win still? No, get out. Oh my god, you stupid bastards. Yeah. Oh, guys, 70s. What? Are you serious? So we're playing at 3840 by 2160 now, using the high settings preset. The game still looks beautiful, of course. There are still reflections, although not as high quality, I think. But we're getting so many more FPS. This is crazy. That's insane. This is 4K. So if you want 60 plus at 4K, it's actually possible. I'm just gonna do this race right here, which is, I think, slightly more intensive than the others. It did drop slightly there from 60 frames in the cutscene, but it was a cutscene after all, so it doesn't really matter. You weren't really playing in the cutscene. And it's getting really nice FPS now, guys. This is even better than 1440p extreme settings. In terms of frames, of course. I would still probably choose 1440p extreme because, well, you do get that higher visual fidelity coming from extreme settings, but yeah, if you have 4K monitor, 1660 Ti can actually play this game comfortably. Actually, like, perfectly, I would say. Almost perfectly. Like, 1 FPS shy of perfect in those 1% lows, at least. Actually, it makes me wonder how many frames we'd get at like 1440p and 1080p. So I'm just gonna record like 30 seconds of each. Resize this, by the way. So 1440p high refresh rate if you're into a very high refresh rate in 1440p resolution. It's well above 100, so it's gonna feel smooth as heck when playing on a 144 Hz monitor, or just a high refresh rate monitor, you know. Wow, that's crazy. Let me just see the cars as well in the screen. Okay, it's dropping slightly. Yep, okay, but it's still pretty good. Insane, guys. Oh my god. What about 1080p? That's gonna be stupidly high. Okay, 1080p, still high preset. And we can already see this is crazy. Oh my goodness. It's not as big of a difference as coming from 4K to 1440p. That's for sure. Yeah, it still drops into the 120s, but it's when all of the cars are on screen as well. So okay, if you see the FPS without any of the cars on screen, well, you get 160s and 150s and 170s. That is absolutely crazy on high settings. So yeah, I think that's been it, my friends. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have a card like this, it's gonna run perfectly well, as you saw. Even at 4K Extreme, it's playable in my opinion. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one very soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.